we had 2 or 3 questions about page speed, including, this is the one I want to read. They said, I want to hear about Gymshark. I watched a vlog from their CEO about how they're worth $2.45 billion, and I remember seeing some page score from them, and it was lowish. Oh, yes. The billion-dollar valuation darling Gymshark, which is a great brand. They've been around a while. They're one of the first Plus customers, and they do outrageous levels of success. I'm going to run them through Google PageSpeed, and we're going to see what they get.
Is the person asking this question fucking with me?
Are they personally messing with you?
I think they're fucking with me.
Why? Why do you think that?
What does Gymshark do to be worth $2.4 billion?
They sell stuff online? I remember seeing a thing where they had published their financials, and they had an astonishing amount of cash on hand. Oh, I'm so excited about this PageSpeed score.
But stop. This is not cromulent to our problem, but do they sell billions of dollars or at least hundreds of millions of dollars every year?
I haven't looked into it at all. I would love to have them on the podcast and make the case for it. August 17th, 2020, there is an article in Forbes how Gymshark became a $1.3 billion brand and what we can learn.
By having SoftBank and various private equity firms pump them full of cash and then say, see, they're worth $2 billion now.
No, I remember seeing this online where they had shared their financials, and they really, it was a very solvent business. And they started early in e-commerce. I know you don't want to believe it, but I think it's entirely plausible. Some people can be outrageous levels of successful. That's not going to happen to everybody.
I don't trust anything that's like A, buzzwords, and then B, not public financials. Like their entire financial state is just based on how much money other SoftBank gave them.
All right, they don't have a SoftBank investment. I think I'm quite convinced that this one's legit. Anyway, so we could agree that it's a big, successful brand, regardless of where the dispute is what the valuation is, if it's legitimate. But either way, this is a big boy brand. Gymshark's PageSpeed score, a Shopify Plus darling, a beautiful website. What is it? Take a guess.
Let's go with, I think they got a lot of widgets on there, so I'm going to go with like 18.
Okay. Is that desktop or mobile?
We're just going with the mobile because that's always the worst one Google gives you.
6.
6?
As in 3 plus 3 is what? That's their PageSpeed score. 6.
Well, I think if they could get that up to at least 50, they'd be worth $100 billion. That's what I've been told.
And that's the problem with PageSpeed score, is it's like, here is a quantifiable metric that it is essentially presented to you as, if you can get a perfect score, it solves all your problems. Suddenly, your conversion rate will go up, and your revenue will go up, and your search engine ranking position will go up. And I don't know if any of that's true, but I do know that a store with a PageSpeed score of 6 has a obscene amount of cash on hand and is extremely successful by all measures.
And this is coming up a lot again because Shopify added that tool.
The performance tool is as part of the analytics dashboard, but it's Lighthouse.
It's literally the PageSpeed score.
It's literally your Lighthouse is the term for the open source version of PageSpeed. And so Google's like, hey, you could build this into the store, and they do a little better job in that it does your most traffic collection page, your most traffic product page, and your home page, and then it averages the score, I believe. So it's a little more relevant.
That's just extra steps, though. It's not like changing the score in any way. The scoring methodology.
The methodology does not change. And so I really and truly believe PageSpeed is not a good way to measure the speed of a store.
I'm honestly done with it. Like I'm done with store speed to begin with. If you're
Why? Tell me why.
Because it's sort of like, is it less than 10 seconds a page or less than like 8 seconds a page? I've stopped caring. I don't care anymore. It's like a medical test. I can't think of an equivalent medical test about that, where it's just like, well, here's the number, and if you're over this number, we got to look at it. But if you're under this number, it's not worth worrying about. Like, just stop worrying. Just stop caring about it at all.
I assume cholesterol, your weight.
Yeah.
Well, to a point.
You could be underweight.
There's a very wide range in there.
But it's like your score can't be too fast. Yeah, because it's just these people are like, well, my page speed score is this, so can I get it? Can I shave an extra half second off? It's like, I stop caring. Stop caring about this. There's other bigger problems in your business than that, where you can get better money. If you like put together better email sequences, that'll get you 10 times as much money as lowering your page speed score by a second. So stop freaking worrying about it. It's like, get the beam out of your eye before you worried about the splinter in your page speed score.
Right. And I think what makes way more sense if we're looking at page speed is the actual load time. And it makes it tough to compare because you could use different tools for this. I like Pingdom tools. Gymshark loads in 2.15 seconds on their homepage, and their page size is 3.7 megs.
Yeah, perfect.
As a metric, I think if your homepage is less than 5 megs, you're fine. I think if your homepage loads in 2.5 seconds or less, cold load, you're completely fine. And like that's a fast 2.15 seconds on a cold load on the homepage.
You're not fine. You're very good to great.
Yes. And yet this site gets 6 on a page speed score.
I mean, I was working on a store for us this week. It hasn't launched yet. It had a fresh theme install on it. It was a brand new newborn baby of a store. No one had seen it. It is not public. It hasn't been poked with. There's nothing that has been changed on it. And its page speed score was like 26. And Shopify was like, oh, this is lower than average for your scores. I've yet to see, it's weird on this Shopify score. I've yet to see a score that's higher than average. It's like Lake Wobegon, where everyone's above average. Every store is below average in page speed score. I don't know how that manages to happen.
Was that what was the name of that NPR show? Something Prairie?
Yeah, Prairie Home Companion.
Prairie Home Companion. I've listened to dozens of episodes of that, and I'll tell you, I still don't get it. I kept listening to it, trying to figure it out. And I'm like, what is going on here? I just was absolutely baffled by Prairie Home Companion. And a landlord, and then my landlord heard me listening to it. She's like, you like Prairie Home Companion? She gave me like a dozen CDs. She's like, I got the full anthology. Oh boy. I invested a lot of time in Prairie Home Companion just to figure out that I don't understand it, and I have to live with that.
And then Garrison Keillor turned out to be a little touchy.
Oh, yeah. So, page speed score is not a valid tool, according to me, subjectively. Just use the actual load time. I think ultimately, it's like sound quality on this podcast. A fast site doesn't hurt. A slow site doesn't help. But I don't think it is like the be-all, end-all, wildly important thing that it's been made out to me. Just don't over-prioritize it.
Yeah, I think this podcast has above-average sound quality. But
I hope so. I spent so much on this crap.
I know, but I think, any percentage that we increase it anymore to be like, oh, no, it's got to be like an utterly perfect, pro-level radio show. It's like, it's not worth the time. You got better things to do. Yeah,
you very quickly get to diminishing returns. And so like spending all this time on, trying to mess with your page speed score when really the content on the site, the offer, your ads, your emails, like there are so many other efforts that are worth worrying about. It's just what's so insidious about it is it gives you a damn grade.
Well, I'm just so mad. I am so mad, and not to beat a dead horse, but it's like I'm so mad that Shopify is putting this on everyone's pages and in front of everyone's face.
It's torturing them. You're torturing merchants.
We had enough people worrying about this before, and now you're shoving it in their faces as like an official Shopify tool from Shopify, and
telling you your site's slow.
They're actively telling you your site's below average. It's worse than all the other stores. Like, what the fuck? Of course, all the store owners are going to freak out. And you're telling them according to a shit criteria. Like, this is not actively helping people in any way whatsoever.
I don't disagree with that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and like that, from our end, that's what's so frustrating about it. It's just day after day, people like genuinely worried about it, and I have to talk them off the ledge.
It's like a joke, too. Like, I know it's a joke in the Facebook group. Like, everyone always tags me whenever this comes up, and I want to put in, like, this scanner's head exploding GIF. But it's like, it's still... every day, every week, new people come in and are like, hey guys, I'm worried about this. And whenever people mention that they're worrying about it in the store, I'm always kind of like, wait a minute, are they fucking with us? Because like they know that they know how much we hate this, or are they just doing this to get a rise? Or do they legitimately not know? Are they new people that don't know?
No, it's because everyone is now discovering this. Everyone got to discover on the same day that their store is slow.
Yeah. It's just a bad idea.
Yeah.